What are my safe foods? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to Adamimmune, an autoimmune lifestyle channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that now. It really helps. In my last video, I talked about the healing stage of AIP, the second phase, and today I want to go over the foods that I eat every day to stay in remission. Over this last year, I've talked to a lot of people about remission, and the question that seems to always come up first is, what do I eat? AIP is all about eliminating foods and telling people what they can't eat. It's kind of a one-way street, and that kind of thinking, some people don't really respond to it very well. It can be kind of overwhelming, especially when starting out. Months ago, I decided to come up with a short list of foods that I would share with people, the foods that I eat, like a starters pack. I want to point out that everyone is different, and eating the way that I do won't necessarily guarantee you remission. I'm going to try to give you alternative options for these foods as we go through these. I just want to mention that some people will have reactions to these foods as well, some people react to anything, everyone's different. So just keep in mind, people with high histamine reactions or people following a FODMAP diet will probably want to stay clear of some of these. But I will try to go over those in a future video. Spinach! You've always been told to eat your greens, but let's be honest, most of us don't. Spinach is great for the skin, mental health, and is just gonna help you heal faster. I eat at least 3 pounds every week, but there are weeks where I eat up to 7 pounds. Yes, that is a lot of spinach. If you don't like spinach, you can always opt for kale, but personally, I don't really care for the taste. It kind of tastes like, leaves you find on the sidewalk. But I still make myself eat it occasionally because I try to get a good variety of dark leafy greens in. People on blood thinners and some other medications need to be wary of eating a lot of dark leafy greens. It may not mix well. If you do have any hesitations about eating these foods and you are on some medications, definitely consult a doctor, a functional medicine doctor. They look at the root cause of the symptoms and not just the symptoms themselves. Avocados! This is one of my favorite foods in the world. I eat it at least 3 times a week. I really would eat it with every single meal if I could, but I'm not rich. I'm cheap. Cheap is what I am. I don't get real creative with avocado. I basically just dump it on my foods. If you don't like the taste of avocado, you can always just put it in your smoothie or bake it into some kind of dessert or something. I guarantee that'll destroy any of the natural flavor. And I'm guessing most people that don't like avocado, it's probably more of a texture issue. But I get that. That's why it makes the perfect dip. I don't know any substitute for avocado. If you do, please leave it in the comments. I'm sure you'll help out somebody. Sweet potatoes! At this point, I think I'm probably more sweet potato than man. I eat at least 1 sweet potato every day, but there are weeks where I probably eat up to around 14 or so. You can bake them, fry them, mash them, or even puree them. They're delicious any way you cook them. There's even other varieties of sweet potatoes. There's white ones and purple ones. They do have a little bit different texture and flavor. If you prefer regular potatoes, you're gonna like the white kind. It's less sweet. If you don't like sweet potatoes and you just refuse to eat them, there are always other root vegetables that you can eat, like turnip and rutabaga, but I always find the flavors to be lacking. And yes, I know there's tons of other substitutes for potatoes out there, but I don't usually eat them because of the density in sugar and carbs, or just because I simply can't find them in my supermarket. I kind of live in a small town. Cabbage! I love this stuff. It's cheap, which is perfect for me, and when you fry them, it tastes, just out of this world. If you cut them just right, it could be a good substitute for pasta. Obviously, the texture and flavor isn't perfect, but depending on how you cook, and if you're a decent cook, you can come up with a pretty good dish. This particular veg, you don't have to buy organic. It's not on the list of dirty vegetables, but we'll talk more about that in another video. Cauliflower. I hated this for most of my life, especially my younger years, but if you cook it just right, it can really surprise you. It can replace rice in dishes if you steam it and blend it, and if you add healthy oils into the blender, you can make a really delicious puree. It kind of tastes like gravy. It's really good. Coconut. I am probably going to make a separate video just on coconut. I love it so much. There are so many different ways to use it in cooking, and it goes in almost every dish. I mean, I probably eat it with every single meal. But I have talked to a few people that cannot eat it. You know, I feel really bad for these people because, you know, I love it and I don't want to live without this stuff. At the point I was doing AIP early on, I still had quite a bit of inflammation in my body, and it was really confusing because I didn't know where it was coming from. You know, I was eating maybe 5 foods and I just could not figure out where I was being triggered from. It turns out that eating regular meat, like beef and pork or any cattle that eats a regular cattle-based diet of grains, well, it can be really inflammatory. If you just can't take beef anymore, you know, and I've gotten to the point, I mean, I've been eating this way a really long time. Sometimes I'm just like, I just can't eat beef anymore, you know, I just can't eat it for every single meal. You can go ahead and get organic farm-raised chickens, you know, that eat a regular diet out in the, you know, pasture. Also, you can eat fish. Fish is great. I've got a lot of positive feedback from the people I've shared this with, and I even started to see some people share it on social media. One lady even called it the Adam Challenge. Honestly, this made me super proud to hear, and I know that probably makes me sound like a narcissist. Call it what you want. Call it a challenge, call it a diet, doesn't matter. What it's meant to be is a tool for beginners to use to start the autoimmune protocol, and hopefully find remission in the process. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to reintroduce many foods at all, so I still eat this way. Every single day, or every single meal. 20 years of damage just can't be undone overnight. I'm not really sure if I'm ever going to be able to eat traditional foods ever again, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't really want to. I found a lot of benefits to eating this way. 120 pounds of weight loss has been just one of them. It's definitely at the top of the list. If you tried everything else and you haven't quite found remission, or you're just starting out and looking for a shortcut to better health, then try the Adam Challenge. What have you got to lose? I'm definitely a narcissist. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Do me, let me shoot me, do